Namaskar and welcome to the 6th edition of our special series on India-UN partnership to mark 75th anniversary of United Nations. Listeners may recall, India has been one of the founding members of the world body. Today, we are observing International Day for Eradication of Poverty. This year, the theme is Acting Together to Achieve Social and Environmental Justice for All. We have with us Nadia Rashid, Deputy Resident Representative, UNDP India. Nadia Rashid joined as Deputy Resident Representative, UNDP India, 2 years ago in November 2018. Prior to this, she was team leader for UNDP Regional Health and Development Team for Asia and Pacific from 2014 to 2018. She has earlier served in Sri Lanka and at the UNDP headquarters in New York. Ms. Nadia Rashid has worked extensively with UNDP on a whole range of issues related to health, gender, and development. During 2005 to 2009, she was policy specialist on HIV and the UNDP focal point for UNAIDS. Her repertoire includes areas like capacity building and gender equality. Ms. Rashid received her undergraduate degree in economics from the London School of Economics and her master's degree in international affairs from Columbia University. Welcome to the show, Ms. Nadia Rashid.
Thank you so much, and it's a real pleasure to be able to join you today.
Yeah, your profile shows a whole range of areas and the issues in which you have contributed a lot towards the cause of humanity in collaboration and partnership with the organization like UNDP. For the benefit of our listeners, it will be great if you can share some insights about your work.
Thank you very much for the question. In fact, I'm very fortunate to have worked with UNDP for over 15 years now. And as you mentioned, I've really worked with UNDP on a range of issues with a particular focus on health issues and gender issues. And for UNDP, as the UN Development Program, our focus is really on being able to interconnect critical development challenges, especially when it comes to addressing issues relating to poverty in terms of promoting governance and at the same time addressing sustainability and ensuring that we are protecting our environment. So I've been fortunate to be able to work across the range of economic, social, and environmental issues and to really help address a range of sustainable development goals in promoting a very inclusive approach to development.
Yeah, you rightly pointed out the concept of inclusive approach to development, and today we are talking about the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Now, the two words, whether you call it poverty alleviation or you call it poverty eradication, what is its relevance and how sound we are practicing in day-to-day affairs at this moment?
The International Day for the Eradication of Poverty really comes at a very important time. Each year we mark the observation of this day as an opportunity to recognize the struggle of people living in poverty, to make sure that their concerns are heard, and to really recommit to doubling our efforts on eliminating poverty. Of course, this year is unfortunately one where this day takes on a deeper significance. We know that more than 1 million people around the world have sadly lost their lives to COVID, and that means that hundreds of millions of families have really been devastated by its social and economic impacts around the world. And for the poorest people, this pandemic is a double crisis in a sense. Poor people have the highest risk of exposure to the virus, and at the same time, they are the least able to access quality health care. And what we're seeing with the onset of COVID is that for the first time in a very long time, there is a reversal in the gains that the world has been making in reducing poverty. So if I take an estimate from the World Bank, they actually warned the COVID pandemic could push up to 150 million people into extreme poverty by the end of next year. So for the first time in decades, we can see a massive reversal with huge numbers of people being pushed into extreme poverty. And we know that vulnerable and marginalized communities are, of course, particularly impacted, including women who are often at greater risk of losing their job and have lesser access to social protection.
Yeah, quite a challenging task in an era where all of us are seeing how the COVID-19 pandemic has cast its shadows on the growth and development. We see it as a challenge, and how the international agencies are working towards addressing the concerns of people in this direction?
The international agencies, of course, have really prioritized the response to COVID, not just the UN, but international partners around the world, and of course, governments around the world. This has been truly an unprecedented crisis when we look at the scale of the crisis. It's firstly, of course, a health crisis, but it's also a health crisis that has unleashed a huge development crisis in the sense that the impact of COVID has really disrupted social and economic life around the world. So for the UN very quickly established a framework to respond to the social and economic impacts of COVID. And this is a global framework that's being applied around the world. So UN country teams around the world are working with governments to help them in looking at how to mitigate the social and economic fallout of COVID, in addition to supporting the health system response, which is, of course, absolutely essential because we need to stem the spread of the virus to be able to also contain the economic and social fallout, the large-scale economic disruption that we're seeing around the world due to the virus.
The theme this year for the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is acting together to achieve social and environmental justice for all. What does it imply, if you can explain in brief for our listeners?
So the 2020 theme is really a recognition that poverty is not only an economic issue. So it's not only about lack of income. Poverty also has social dimensions and it can also have environmental dimensions. So the theme really recognizes that poverty is multidimensional and that people living in poverty can experience many different forms of deprivation. And it's important for us to address all of these. And this can include, for example, lack of access to healthcare. It can include working in dangerous conditions, not having safe housing, not having access to nutritious food, living in a polluted environment, or perhaps not having equal access to justice. So all of these are examples of dimensions of poverty. And the theme of achieving social and environmental justice for all is really a reminder that alongside income poverty, it's also important to look at links with social and environmental issues when it comes to poverty. For us as UNDP, this is very much at the heart of our mandate. We work to address poverty and to advance inclusion as a core focus of supporting development for all.
Yeah, coming back to the role of UNDP, agency has been working in different countries to help them eradicate poverty. Please tell us more about UNDP India's work in this context.
In India, we're very proud as UNDP. We have been working in India for about 70 years now. We are working very closely with government. We work both with the government of India and various ministries at the national level, as well as with state governments, really in helping them to advance and support national development priorities. And of course, we collaborate with civil society, community organizations, and private sector partners. And when it comes to our work on poverty, a key focus is tackling poverty by expanding access to jobs and to livelihoods for marginalized communities. We also work together with government partners and other partners on strengthening systems to support the delivery of essential social services to people in need. And we also work on, as I mentioned earlier, protecting the environment and addressing climate change for a sustainable future and to ensure that people's livelihoods are protected by protecting our environment. And so some examples of this are, together with partners, we've been working to reach more than 1 million vulnerable women to help them improve their livelihoods by supporting them in accessing skilling opportunities, accessing jobs, and accessing entrepreneurship opportunities. With the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, we are working to support the national immunization program and the systems for delivery of immunization. So ensuring that there is safe and effective delivery of vaccines across all states and almost all districts in India. So it's a very large-scale collaboration. And then an example from our environmental work, we are also collaborating with urban local bodies in more than 30 cities to improve management of plastic waste, to help protect our environment, while at the same time supporting waste collectors who are often amongst the most vulnerable people, supporting them to improve their incomes, to improve their livelihoods, and providing them with safer working environments. So these are some of the examples of ways in which we work to address poverty together with partners in government, civil society, and the private sector.
Well, listeners, we are in conversation with Nadia Rashid, UNDP Resident Deputy Representative for India. The another major issue which has gained currency over the years has been that of climate change. The climate change and poverty have been interrelated in more than one way. How are we going to address the twin challenges?
Yes, I'm very glad that you've raised the issue of climate change, because at times this is not discussed in terms of its relationship to poverty. We are increasingly aware, and I think communities are increasingly aware of the threat of climate change. Climate change is endangering lives and livelihoods through, for example, food and water scarcity, through extreme weather events, and through displacement of communities. And India is particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, along with other countries in South Asia and in other parts of the world. So if I can give you some estimates, we actually estimate that by 2030, more than 100 million people could fall into extreme poverty due to climate change. And another 200 million could be displaced from their homes as a result of climatic disasters. So this is really an emergency. Unless urgent action is taken, we know that climate change will affect gains in reducing poverty and will slow down progress towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. And why is this so important? I mean, we also know that the poorest communities who've really done the least in terms of contributing to climate change are the ones who are facing the brunt of the impact. And this is because for the poorest communities, their livelihoods are often very dependent on our natural environment and on natural resources, including climate-sensitive sectors like water and like forests. So the effects of climate change in contributing to erratic rainfall, drought, rising temperatures, thinning forests, and so forth are impacting the poor the most in a way where they lose their incomes. If there is climate-related event, they face compromised access to food and nutrition, sometimes loss of housing or damage to housing, and then also loss of access to essential services like health and education services. So it's extremely important for us to really prioritize action to address climate change, and particularly focusing in on its impacts on the poorest communities.
Yeah, you rightly pointed out, you need to talk about the poverty eradication or say poverty alleviation to say so. Many indices have come out. One of them is the Multidimensional Poverty Index by UNDP. It measures the complexities of people's lives individually as well as collectively every year. How do you view this vis-a-vis the SDGs?
As you've mentioned, the Multidimensional Poverty Index, or if you don't mind, I'll use the acronym MPI, is really a continuation of what we've been discussing, the importance of recognizing that poverty is multidimensional in nature. So the MPI recognizes that poverty is complex and it's multifaceted. So it looked beyond income to understand how do people experience poverty. And it identifies how people are being left behind using three key dimensions. So firstly, it looks at health. Secondly, it looks at education. And thirdly, it looks at standard of living. And across those three dimensions, it identifies 10 indicators to measure. And so coming to your question on the links with the Sustainable Development Goals or the SDGs, the MPI as an index is really a very important tool to advance the SDGs, because it allows countries to measure progress across multiple SDG dimensions. So, for example, it also helps policymakers to focus on how to ensure that we are meeting the commitment of leaving no one behind by analyzing poverty levels for different population subgroups, for example, or in different regions, or across rural and urban areas. And it also allows policymakers to be able to focus in on priority groups, for example, women and children, to understand what kinds of deprivation are being faced. It allows for tracking across time. It also allows us to promote more integrated policy solutions by identifying interlinkages across sectors. So the MPI is really a very important tool for measuring multidimensional poverty, but also for advancing the SDGs, being able to monitor progress towards the SDGs, and also, importantly, progress on who is being left behind and why, and helping to point to policy solutions to address that.
Last but not the least, an important issue has been that of the collaboration and the partnerships. UNDP has been working in collaboration and partnerships in various projects in India. How does this association help out not only India but also the countries in the region?
Now, in a time where it really has been unprecedented, the scale of the crisis that we're seeing, as I mentioned earlier, and I think that scale also points to why it is absolutely critical to promote collaboration to address common challenges, whether these are common challenges that countries face at national level or subnational level, or whether these are common challenges of regional nature or of a global nature. It's extremely important in a world where we are so interconnected to learn from each other, to be able to share experiences. And this is where the UN can play an important role. So for an organization like UNDP, we have offices all around the world. And for us, it's extremely critical that the experiences that come from countries around the world are shared so that key stakeholders are able to share knowledge, information, best practices to support each other. And if I take an example from India, and coming back to our discussion on the MPI, the Multidimensional Poverty Index, India over the past decade has really had remarkable success in reducing poverty. So, for example, the Multidimensional Poverty Index, or MPI, showed that India was able to cut its incidence of poverty in half in the span of a decade, so in the decade between 2006 and 2016, helping to move 270 million people out of poverty. So the example of that success in India and how India was able to do that is extremely important to share with other countries around the world. That experience is a very valuable experience for other countries to learn from and to help us drive policies. But at the same time, we know that despite these gains, there are a large number of people who continue to live in poverty. And we know that they are experiencing, in particular, deprivations that relate to health, to nutrition, to schooling and sanitation. So these are some of the areas that remain as big challenges that need to be overcome. And so the sharing of experience, and particularly for a country like India, there is such rich opportunity to share experience, not just with other countries, but also across states and within states. For UNDP as a connector, being able to bring in experience of different countries and different stakeholders and different sectors to learn from each other and to find interconnected policy solutions to address challenges is really a critical one. And one of the ways in which we are doing that is working with Niti Aayog. And Niti Aayog has taken on the work that's happening with the MPI globally to look at how that work can be progressed in India. It has constituted a coordination committee that includes key ministries and key partners, including UNDP, to help provide technical expertise and to take a global product and develop it as a national report, national product, to really help support an integrated approach to advancing the SDGs in India.
Well, thanks, Nadia, for your apt summing up of the whole scenario as we are observing the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Listeners, that was Nadia Rashid, UNDP Deputy Resident Representative for India, in conversation with All India Radio. It has been a pleasure talking to you, Nadia. Thanks for sharing your valuable time with us. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.